I live in Spain, and therefore the computer I bought a few years ago has a Spanish keyboard. As I write in English, this makes my work a little difficult. However, I discovered that some ingenious company with an eye for a niche that is crying out for filling produced a moulded silicon cover that displays the correct keys for a British mapped keyboard. Bingo! My Hispanic layout was instantly transformed into something much more usable. But over time, with thousands of energetic finger stabs, the silicon has begun to stretch a little. Now the cover is a little too long from left to right to fit the keys precisely. If I move the cover a few millimeters to the right to fit on that side, it misaligns with the keys on the left. And if I move it the other way, it misaligns with the keys on the right. I can get an almost perfect fit over 50% of the keys, but not 100% of them. And this got me thinking that maybe this bad-fitting keyboard cover is a good fit as an analogy for life in general, and a clue as to why some people are very successful, while others seem doomed to watch good fortune slip between their fingers. Earlier this month, my partner and I took a road trip to Barcelona, about 600 kilometers from where we live just outside Madrid. It was a very pleasant journey with spectacular Spanish scenery and little traffic, one of the few positive upsides of this country's partial return to lockdown. The reason for our excursion was to take Christina, my partner's recently turned 18 daughter, to Spain's second largest city for the start of her first year at university. As I gazed out of the window at the dramatic countryside whizzing past, my mind meandered back to the many discussions we've had with Christina over the last year concerning her career path, and from there it was just a short sequence of memory steps for my daydreaming to arrive at my childhood. Unlike many of my friends, I don't have vivid memories of my early years, but one or two moments persist with video-like clarity, and this particular piece of personal history spontaneously started to play like one of those annoying YouTube videos that auto-starts without any intentional input from you. When I was younger than Christina, maybe 10 or 11 years old, I recall having one of those scary childhood realizations. Encountering one of those reality monsters that hide at the side of the seemingly all too short road from childhood solipsism to party-pooping adult responsibility. This particular lurking demon jumped uninvited into the path of my self-centered ambling and announced that someday, very soon, I would have to start work, as in a paid job, and that job would require me to attend for around 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, every week with only around 28 days holiday a year. I distinctly remember thinking that this ludicrous fiend wasn't right in the head. Then, to give insult to injury, it added that the horrendous dystopian future it had just informed me of would be for the rest of my life. It took me the next few years to finally conclude that this was in fact the truth. But it dawned on me that it didn't have to be a horrific life sentence, but could be an opportunity to embark on a career that might, if I worked hard and had some luck, lead to me doing something I liked and getting paid for it. But what? What should I do with my life? There are so many different paths one can take. How do you know which is the right one for you? How do you choose when you are an 11-year-old and almost everything is possible? As my youthful self pondered this puzzle, what I didn't realize at the time is that I was trying to cover everything. I was looking for the perfect profession that would be satisfying for my entire life. It had to cover everything, pay me a fortune, afford me all the leisure time I wanted, and gain me respect and admiration. I would also have as much time as I like for all my friends and family, and one day, my own children. Surely if virtually everything is possible, one can find a job that would cover all bases. What I realize now, which is where my analogy fits in, is that one can't do everything. If you dedicate yourself to your work, family and friend time suffers. If you choose to dedicate yourself to your family, you probably won't be a business tycoon or a Nobel Prize winning scientist. Furthermore, some jobs may be very fulfilling, but do not pay a king's ransom, whereas others can make you wealthy but take a huge bite out of job satisfaction. And if the work takes you to Timbuktu, you'll be living away from home. Everything requires some sort of compromise. You can move the silicon keyboard cover a little to the right or the left, but the keys on the other side will be out of alignment. The truth seems to be that even when one is spoilt for choice, the choice is spoilt. One always has to compromise. The sad truth is that you are finite and can't do everything. I sometimes watch my dog, Ernie, playing with a tennis ball in the garden. He runs around contentedly with his fluffy trophy between his teeth until he comes across another ball hidden in the grass. He now wants both balls, so he drops the first to pick up the second, then the second to pick up the first, then finally tries to get both balls into his mouth. His taxed little 70-gram brain doesn't seem to be able to compute that he can have either ball, but not both. Not because both are not available to him, they are, but because he can only fit one ball in his mouth at a time. He has to choose silicon to the left or the right, the first ball or the second ball, intense dedication to a career or intense dedication to family and friends. If you try to do everything, you risk doing nothing well. So, next time your partner or spouse complains that you are working too hard or not working hard enough, it might be wise to contemplate this. Success may not be down to luck. It may be a matter of choice. Ask yourself, what are you trying to achieve? Or, which tennis ball do you want? And which are you willing to leave nestling in the grass?